The next speaker for the day is Dr. Milind Karmarkar. Dr. Milind Karmarkar did his UG and PG both from GDC Mumbai. He did his program in implant dentistry from New York University in 1983, worked at the National Hospital Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for a good period of time, and briefly also in the United States of America. He has taught at various colleges in different parts of India, and currently he is the head of Department Prosthodontics at Bharati Vidyapeeth, Mumbai. He has conducted innumerable lectures and courses nationally as well as internationally. He is the associate editor of the FAMDent magazine and the first editor of ISOI journal. Today, he is going to talk to us about how to use bioactive cement for fixed and implant prosthesis. Over to you, Dr. Milind Karmarkar. Milind, you need to unmute yourself and share screen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Santosh. Nice to be here. Am I audible?
Yes, very much audible.
Very good. Thank you. So, firstly, let wish all of you a very good afternoon, and would like to thank everybody, especially FAMDent and all you guys doing this wonderful e-conference for having me here. So, without much ado, I think we will start our presentation. Okay. Everything clear?
Not yet.
Okay. Now coming.
It says, now it has come on. Audio,
Okay.
video, both good.
Back to okay. Am I clear?
Audio, video,
So
both.
am I clear?
Yes, audio, video, both clear. You can carry on.
Okay, thank you. So we start our presentation, which is the bioactive cementation of fixed prosthesis and implant prosthesis. Cementation is the basically the final step of our indirect restoration, and that is, I think, the crucial stage of our prosthesis, because anything going wrong in the cementation aspect, or luting as it's called now, can compromise all the previous steps. So your fixed prosthesis crown and bridge is like a chain, and any link of the chain goes wrong, the entire chain collapses. But all the previous steps, starting from treatment planning to your impression making to jaw relations to the trial, everything goes for a toss if the cementation process is not properly done. Now, the most common mistake that is most people do is not to try out the restoration before cementing in the patient's mouth to check the fit and see whether there is enough space for the cement. The space for the cement is given basically by the dye spacer that the lab utilizes. You will see either a silver or a red colored area short of the 1 mm or half mm short of the margin. That determines your cement space. Today it can be virtually determined in a digital prosthesis, as you've seen before. Now, the other problem is putting in too much of cement or too little of cement. If there's too much of cement, the restoration will not seat properly, and therefore you will definitely have occlusal problems as well as open margins. Both will create havoc with your final restoration. So these things have to be taken into consideration when we cement our prosthesis. First is trying of the prosthesis and to put just enough cement to fill up your cement space, which is predetermined. Okay, and our next slide. Starting with the next slide. Now there are different cements, as you know, starting from our temporary cements to our basic zinc phosphate cement, to the polycarboxylate, to the glass ionomer, and today we have resin cement. Now, resin cements are adhesive cements, so they bond to the tooth as well as to the crown, inside of the crown, and they provide a better seal for the restoration, as well as the other problem is the solubility in saliva. There is gingival fluid subgingivally, and your cement will dissolve in it, causing an open margin, causing bacteria to form, plaque to form, and your margins to fail. So your margin has to be perfect as well. Now the new category of cements today is called as bioactive cement. They basically take away the problems that occur with resin cement. Basically, they are glass ionomer, resin modified glass ionomer, or RMGIs as we call them today. Okay, so they take care of two things basically: the solubility, then they prevent any caries, they remineralize the tooth, which will prevent caries again, prevent plaque, and the other thing is the flexibility. They provide a stress breaking, which is very important for implant prosthesis, as there is a lack of a periodontal ligament, which is there in natural teeth. So it's an ideal cement to be used today. Now we didn't really have an ideal cement up to now, but this kind of cement, the material aspect of it, provides us most of the or takes care of most of the problems that we have with the other cement. Now, what is this bioactivity? If I may explain, most of the cements are basically passive cements. They do not have any action with the tooth and enhance the mineralization of the tooth. In fact, they create problems because they are soluble in saliva, and they cause demineralization, they cause plaque, and in implant they cause peri-implantitis if there is an excess of most of these cements. Okay, so these are basically self-adhesive resin cements, which are which have a resin and a glass ionomer component, as well as they do have a lot of minerals like calcium. You have aluminum, you have phosphate, basically calcium phosphate, and it basically causes appetite to form. These cements form appetite by themselves with reaction to the circular fluid or with saliva. So that is the biggest advantage. So whenever you have a subgingival margin, they take care of the problems of other cement. The other big advantage is that they even set in the presence of moisture. Like if you mix the cement and put it even in a glass of water, it will set, unlike any of the other cements. So this is the only cement which can set in the presence of moisture. So you don't need to actually dry the site, or anything. You can just clean it and just dry it a bit. So this is the advantage. The other thing is, both with dentine, it will provide remineralization or enhance mineralization, so that there is no sensitivity. The biggest problem with most cements in the long term is the sensitivity, and that especially with glass ionomers, that is a major factor, that where you have to actually remove the crown, go in for a root canal, and then put it back. So all these advantages are there only in the new bioactive cement. Now this Activa by Pearl is one of them. The other will follow shortly. So right now the only bioactive cement available is Activa. Next. Now this is one of the advantages of the cement is biomineralization. Now what is this biomineralization? It's the formation basically of inorganic solids or minerals basically deposited into biologic systems where we have dentine and even enamel. So basically they form a biological appetite in a controlled process, and you require the presence of either saliva or circular fluid. It needs an electrolyte to form this the mineral. So basically we are mineralizing the tooth at the same time, unlike other cements which demineralize the tooth and create problems. So this is what happens when you cement or lute a crown with a standard polycarboxylate or a glass ionomer cement. There is a breakdown at the margin, as you can see, because of demineralization, and the margin opens up. Now that causes bacteria and plaque to enter and causes further demineralization and secondary caries below our crowns, which cannot be seen because, as you can see here, proximally the contact is in the way. So you cannot really clinically see it. Only on a radiograph it is very evident. And when you remove that crown, as the purple arrow points out, you can see that there is a beginning of subgingival caries that can further go to the pulp and create problems. So marginal success to date was not achieved by the other cements, and this is the only cement that can achieve this marginal success. And as you can see, the difference between the current cements available today as compared to an active or a bioactive Activa cement. Normally, when you see a crown, you can see that the margin, unlike our gold crowns, is not burnished or finished, and there is a small, very small micro gap, which because of circular fluid or saliva, it invites a biofilm consists of bacteria and plaque, and that degrades the tooth. It will not degrade the crown material, but it will degrade the dentine or the cemental aspect of the tooth and create an open margin again, and that causes failure or caries and then failure of the restoration. Unlike them, on the right, if you see, if it's cemented with with a bioactive cement like Activa, it protects the tooth from forming this biofilm, and it remineralizes the tooth. So even a little bit of gap is filled up by the remineralization process, and it protects your crown. Or if it's an implant, it protects the implant to crown abutment interface, which will prevent any kind of peri-implantitis if there's any excess cement which remains, which cannot be really seen when it's very subgingival as with implant. Now this is how it works. If you see under a microscope, you can see the dentinal tubules, and Activa, if you see it, remineralizes those tubules and intertubular substance. Your dentinal fluid also acts there as an electrolyte. The other thing is you also have stress absorption or shock absorption. So if your periodontal ligament is compromised, or you have an ankylosed tooth, or if you have an implant, basically the function of the PDL is taken up by this cement because it consists of rubberized urethane. Okay, it's a UDMA cement, urethane dimethacrylate actually, but it is rubberized, so it has a flexibility also inbuilt. So your even if you have your laminate cemented with it, they will not really fracture as compared to your cemented with a normal resin cement. So these are the advantages of the new bioactive cement, especially Activa. So these are the basically there are so many indications, and virtually all the indications are taken care of by the cement. It bonds by chelation, and it's adhesive to the dentine or to the tooth structure on one side and to all the other substrates right from zirconia to metals to lithium disilicate Emax or Empress to PFM or ceramic fused to metal crowns to virtually all ceramics that are known to resin ceramics to CAD/CAM digitally or your 3D printed crowns to implant abutments to titanium to stainless steels to post to virtually everything that we use in the oral cavity. Now the cement comes as in a smart mix tube where there is a base and catalyst, and you have basically two shades: the A2 shade, which is the universal shade, and a T shade, which is a translucent shade. Now, if you even if you're using it for laminates, if you want the underlying color of the tooth to be seen, or in an implant case where we want more visibility, then we can use the translucent shade. If you want to mask or you want to get a shade adjustment done, you can mix your normal Activa resin restorative with it to get any shade between A1 to A4 or A35 A4 and match the shade also precisely. So you have various shade options. Most cements will not give you a translucent shade. Here you will get a translucent shade as well, so that the shade matching is better. It takes up the restoration, takes up the shade of the surrounding tooth when you're using your translucent shade. So even aesthetically, your restorations will be far better, especially the laminates and inlays or inlay onlays. So virtually every property of this cement is a plus or it's an advantage. And you have various tips. You have a tip with a needle like point if you want to even basically cement a post into a root canal. You can go directly into the root canal and come up, or you have the normal black tip where you can put it directly into the crown. So the mixing is auto mixing inside the tip. So you don't even need an assistant, you don't need a spatula or anything like that. Okay, next. Now this is what happens to your margins with a standard cement. As you can see the PFM crown on the molar, you can see that there is secondary caries, there is micro leakage, and marginal failure is causing the failure of the crown. And because the cement is soluble, there is a washout. Now adhesives can degrade and cause micro leakage. So even if you're using an adhesive cement, this will happen. Of course, it much less with resin cements as compared to your zinc phosphate or glass cyanomer, and the pH will go down, and it will cause biofilm and bacteria to proliferate. So ultimately, you will have a lot of sensitivity. You will have caries, and the patient will complain of pain, and the crown will have to be removed. So Activa takes care of this. It basically seals and bonds and protects the margin. So all these things do not happen. You will not get sensitivity. Firstly, you will not get secondary caries. If there is any pH changes, then the calcium and phosphate appetite will form and prevent micro leakage. So these ions are continuously released because of saliva or circular fluid, and the hard tissues as well as the soft tissues will respond naturally. There will not be gingival inflammation, which will be seen if there is any excess in your normal cement while cementing or luting a crown or a bridge or neck. Now this is how we will show you a video later on, but to explain that, we will show you how the crown, the inside of the crown is normally microblasted, so it increases the surface area, whether it is metal or whether it is ceramic. Now in case of zirconia, you cannot really microblast, so you have to use a zirconia cleaner like IvoClean from Ivoclar, and you can etch and then use IvoClean, which will activate the crown surface to bond to the Activa biocement. Now during trial, again, if it's contaminated with saliva, if it's a zirconia crown, then again you have to clean it because it contaminates the phosphate sites to which your zirconia will bond. Especially on zirconia crown, you have to use etch it and clean it and use IO clean to make it bond to zirconia. Next. So this cement is even ideal for zirconia, where other cements you need to have a zirconia primer, which again costs a lot. So this takes care of. This is how it is done basically. The tooth is etched with 37% phosphoric acid for about 10 to 15 seconds, then cleaned and dried, and then the crown is rocked into place. You will see some excess. You give a 1 second cure. Since it's rubberized, it will come out in one piece. It will not spread like other cements and will be difficult to clean. So this is the easiest cement to clean up, and most of the dentists love it for that itself. So as I said, it's very easy to use. It's easy to clean. You don't need a mixing tab, or you don't need a mixing spatula, and it is so it saves a lot of time as well as money. The other is, since it is dual cured, you have to use a light initially for 1 second, remove the excess, and then again use the light for about 20 to 40 seconds or the dual cure. If the light does not reach, it will cure by itself in about 5 to 10 minutes. So you can use it underneath an opaque restoration as well. But your light has to be good. You have to initiate the reaction with light. If not, it will cure by itself in 5 to 10 minutes. As you can see, this is a zirconia crown which has been bonded or cemented, and you can see how the excess comes out nicely and can be removed in one piece. It will not go in the subgingival area, or especially when you're doing subgingival crowns or under an implant prosthesis where the margin is way subgingival. So that is the biggest advantage. You will never have peri-implantitis because of this cement in your implant prosthesis or underneath a subgingival crown or bridge. Now that is why we say that the bioactivity of the cement makes a lot of difference, and it mimics basically the natural function of the dentine and enamel, and it basically fights your micro leakage as well as caries. So your patient will accept it, and you will have virtually no failure that will occur in your prosthesis. So basically, this is what makes that. If they're not, there will be a lot of bioactive restorative materials are already there, but this is the only bioactive cement in the world right now, and you will have a lot of bioactive cements coming in, because this has up to now given a great success with over 2 million restorations done worldwide. Okay, so bioactivity is creating a big difference in restoratives as well as cement. But this is the only cement that has this property, which makes a lot of difference to the crowns, as well as it has flexibility, which takes care of occlusal trauma or occlusal stress, especially in full arch restoration. Now it is easy to use, and as an implant cement, this is, you have various implant cements for implant, but they don't really have good strength and they do come off. So this basically has a very good strength, and it can be removed if required. Plus it is basically cleared by the FDA, which requires at least 5 years of research to be shown successfully. So it is FDA cleared, and there are a lot of studies done in a lot of universities. And as I said, over 2 million restorations have been done with it. So it is one cement that works. Now, how to use it properly, we will show you with a video in the how to, so that you don't make some of the basic mistakes that you do in even when you're luting or cementing with a standard cement. The amount of cement that you put in the crown is very crucial. If you put too much cement, there is a hydraulic pressure of the cement itself, and therefore your crown will not seat completely, because in the occlusal area that cement excess will create a resistance to your putting the crown on the tooth. The other thing is, you are supposed to rock the crown when you put it, so it allows excess cement to escape from the margin because of your die spacer being already there. So even if you put excess cement and rock the crown into place slowly instead of just placing it as shown in the video, you have to rock it into place. So allow the cement to escape. Now for that you need a controlled viscosity. So that viscosity and film thickness is also adjust optimally in this cement. So you should not have any problems with the cement as the cementation is done. Now, if at all this happens, you will have occlusal problem, because the occlusal level of the crown bridge will rise up, and you will have to do a lot of occlusal adjustment. At the same time, your margin, there will be a gap because it has not gone into place. There is a vertical gap between the tooth margin, whether it's a shoulder, chamfer, whatever margin, and your crown margin. So this is very important during your luting. Now during luting of laminates, again I have to say that there is a sequence. If one laminate, suppose you're doing 6 laminates, and if one laminate doesn't go into place, the other 5 will not. So what we do is we use the 2 centrals first, so that you can adjust the midline, remove any excess, tack cure, then put your lateral canine, lateral canine. So there is a sequence to be followed with laminates, and with your inlay onlays, again you should not have excess. If you are putting cementing a post, especially with, again here it's very important that there is no excess, otherwise the post will not go into place, or your post and core, if you've cast it with either metal or with ceramic or with zirconia, will not go into place. Therefore, you have to see that you don't put excess cement in the canal space that you created, and you have to slowly rock the post into space, see that the margins have touched the tooth, and then remove any excess with a tack cure. Tack cure is about a half a 1 second or 2 second cure quickly with the light, so that the cement becomes like a putty, and it can be cleaned off very nicely and removed in one piece, unlike other cements which tend to spread, and then you spend a lot of time and effort cleaning them up. So that again is very important, whether you're cementing or luting or bonding today, as we call it, laminates, or your inlays or your onlays or your crowns on teeth or implants, or your posts into a post space. You have to see that there is no excess, nor should there be very little cement. If there's very little cement, again there will be an air trap or a gap, and that can again create problems. So while cementing, what is ideal is you just coat the walls of your crown and just put very little occlusally. See that there's not too much of occlusal cement there. Ideally, you should not fill up the crown completely. It should be half full. That is the guideline that we have. So with that, I think we will show you the a video of how we are using a flexible model here, and we are using the SmartMix version of the Activa cement. So here we have basically this is to practice your cementation with a single crown. And here you can see the Activa bioactive cement shade A2 by Pulp Dent, and we are using a temporary crown made with Tough Temp. Again, Tough Temp has rubberized urethane, so it will come out of undercuts in case your side teeth have a lot of undercut. So we use this for our temporary crowns as well. You can have different shades. It comes in an auto mixing syringe and tips, auto mixing tips, and it's just like your rubber base impression, same gun can be used. So this is Tough Temp Plus, which is again an ideal temporary crown material which we can use. It's based on again UDMA or urethane dimethacrylate, which is a composite by itself, but at the same time, being rubberized, it is a bit flexible, so it is easy on the occlusion as well. So a crown has been made with that, and a rubberized model made of silicon, so that we can remove it and use it multiple times. Now this is a smart mix tube where you have the base and the catalyst, and it has a mixing tip. There are different types of mixing tips, and you have basically 5 ml or 7-gram syringe. So that, okay, 7-gram syringe. So you can lute multiple crowns. At least if you are very careful, about 30 to 40 crowns or laminates can be cemented or luted with this cement. So this is the smart mix, as you can see, and it comes two in a box like this, and you can just put that, change the tip, and use it judiciously. So there is no loss of the cement in mixing or in any way. It goes directly into the crown, so there is no air traps either. So we'll start the video now. As you can see, there is a model below with a bridge and a crown, single crown. We are going to cement the single crown on the lower left first molar. There's the model, and that is the crown made of Tough 10 Plus. You can see the inside of the crown, and first check it in the patient mouth for fit, for margins, for occlusion, for everything before you don't directly put cement and put the crown in the patient's mouth. So first we check the crown for fit, and then if there is saliva, you have to clean, you have to etch it, and then you have to apply Ivoclean, which is like a zirconia primer, because the saliva basically affects the phosphate sites in a zirconia crown, so it will not bond to any cement. You have to clean it with Ivoclean, which is meant for cleaning zirconia crown. You can check your margin, marginal fit, everything. Your contact areas are again very important. If the contacts are tight, the crown may not go into place. So all that has to be checked and adjusted before you actually load the crown and cement it. So this is how we check the margins as well, and try it in. Now if you have to, you can also etch the tooth with your 37% phosphoric acid gel for about 10 to 15 seconds. So it cleans up the tooth as well as it prepares it for bonding to the cement. Now you don't need dentine adhesives etc. with this cement, because it has a glass ionomer component, and it bonds to dentine chemically. So you don't need any dent. Now this is how you place you start with the deepest part of the crown, and you go on pressing so that there are no air bubbles. You keep on a zigzag movement so that there are no air bubbles. Again, see that you don't load the crown completely. Now again, when you're pressing, don't just press like it is shown here. You have to rock it into place slowly, and you can see the excess coming out. Now don't try to remove the excess, it will spread like other cement. What we do is we hold it for some time, for about a minute or so, to allow the excess to escape, and then we attack cure the excess that you can see for about 1 second or both buccally as well as linearly for a second, so it becomes like putty. It is soft and it can easily be removed with a sharp probe, or even in any instrument that has a sharp margin. Even a composite instrument can be used so that it will not damage the gingiva in any way. So you can see how the excess comes out nicely in one piece. It doesn't spread, and then you don't have to again clean up the tooth and the surrounding tissues. It will again come out in one piece even below the contacts, either buccally or lingually. You can remove it from the side. But you have to hold the crown while doing it before you cure it completely. Then you can have a 20-second or a 40-second cure, and that will the dual cure mechanism will cure the cement where the light has not reached it. That will take about 5 to 10 minutes. So till that time, see that you don't start your occlusal adjustment or finishing techniques. And you can see there is no excess anywhere. So it is an ideal implant cement or an ideal cement when you have subgingival margins, especially in the anterior aesthetic region. Posterior, you can have a equi or a supragingival margin. Even there, it is an advantage to use this cement. Now you can, this model is for practice, so you can, it will not bond to it, so you can remove that crown many times and practice your cementation procedure. This is what we use for a normal hands-on courses that we have, and that's why it was very nice to show it on this how-to series. So, but to show the video, you have to explain what and how is done before, because the video goes very fast, and during the video it's very difficult to explain. So I'm sure all of you have understood and appreciated the advantages of using uh, uh, Activa, which is the only bioactive cement that we have in the world right now. And I've shown you the advantages. It virtually has I could talk about disadvantages, but there is virtually no disadvantage I can talk about. The only thing we can talk about are the advantages of the cement, and I've tried to explain that to all of you in as much as I could. So with that, we have finished this how to presentation, and if there are any, I don't know about the questions, or if Dr. Santosh, are you there?
Yes, Milind, I'm right here.
Anything else you need from me?
Just
Or we take the questions later on, whatever.
I will later, Abhi. We'll do it right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Fantastic presentation, Milind. It was a truly enlightening lecture about how we can use better systems for cementation of prosthesis and implant prosthesis. Could you throw some light on whether there are any differences between the mixing tips of Bioactiva restorative and Bioactiva luting?
There is a small difference in the restorative. The needle tip is the same, but the other restorative tip in Bioactiva, we have a white tip with another small tip which is added to it, like you have for your light body impression material.
Okay.
But here it has an angled. It is angled so that it can go into a class 2 or a restoration. Now here it is different. It's a black tip with a pointed end, and if you want more like faster exit of the same cement, you can cut it so that the diameter becomes much more. Now here initially you have a very small diameter, so you can pinpoint your area that you're putting it, especially for laminates and for posts. But you can cut that tip and increase the diameter, but it's a black tip so that it is not cured, and you can keep the tip on till the next case or the next crown, or you can do multiple full arch crowns at the same time.
Because a lot
That
of
is
times,
the basic.
what happens is we end up, the mixing tips get over and the material is still there. So if such a thing happens, so do we buy the tip separately, or do we buy?
Yeah,
the
you can. You
same
can
box?
have refill tips, but that is why it's a black tip. The needle tip has to be changed immediately. The black tip can be used for quite a number of because if you have multiple crowns, that material will set since it's a dual cure. So it's a black tip so that you can cement multiple crowns in a patient, or in on even if you have continuous patients, you can optimize the use of a single tip. But there are it's a standardized. These tips are standardized, so they are available, and one tip will fit all.
Thank you, Dr. Milind, for this wonderful lecture and sharing your knowledge and time with us. And thank you again, because we are continuing to remain dot on time. And it's just
Yeah,
so I have enough time to introduce the next speaker. Thank you, Milind.
yeah,
Thank you.
my privilege.
Thank
My privilege, Dr. Santosh. It was a privilege speaking here, as usual on FAMDED. And thank you again for everybody at FAMDED for this fantastic e-conference that we had for the first time. And as usual, we always have very nice conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Karmarkar.